Alright, so I'm going to connect my Samsung Galaxy Active2 to my Note 20. First thing you want to do is reset your old watch. If it's already connected, if it's brand new, you don't need this step, but mine obviously was connected to my Note 10 Plus. And so anytime you connect a new watch, you have to reset it. It'll ask you if you want to connect to a new phone. You want to back up your data first. Obviously if it's brand new, you don't need to do that, but if you're previously connected, it's easier if you back it up first. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe mine. And I want to make sure it's charging while I do that. If you had a non-Samsung phone, you would need to install apps, but for Samsung, the Galaxy wearable app should be pre-installed. Alright, so it says let's go. Let's get started. I am wearing the Galaxy Watch Active2. And we'll allow. 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 And we'll allow that all the time. I'll connect that and I'll tap that. You can hit learn more. I don't know that really does anything. You can check your notification settings. I want all my apps to show. Apps to get notifications from, always set this to all, and then once that syncs, they'll come on. There we go. All apps. Alright. Get done here, and I'll take a little bit more. You can change different apps, of course, but I want all my apps. So there we go. If you have a non-Samsung phone, you have to install a lot of these plugins, but they're obviously built in on the Samsung phone. In the past, this backup feature didn't work, but now it seems to be working fine the last time I swapped my watch around. Alright. So yeah, we got that time. So let's restore. You can set it up fresh, of course, but this way it just keeps all my settings like I would normally have it. It doesn't take long, a couple minutes. So for mine is a T-Mobile watch, and I have a SIM that's built into it. You may not need this step if you don't have the LTE version. Alright, now we're all set up. Sometimes there's a couple updates you want to do. I don't use Samsung Pay on the watch. And we'll go to the apps, view your updates here. I'm going to move the watch to the charger. You can see a lot of the apps will need to be updated. Alright, let me get this set up and then we'll cover some more stuff. I've actually had the Note 20 for a little bit, and it's been my watch every day. I haven't had any issues. So let's just go over the setup here. So you can see my watch face here. Of course, if you want to swipe left, you can go to more options. Everything to the right. Let's go back home. So this button takes you home or power, and this goes back one. So like if I go 3 here, see it goes back, and this will go home. Alright, if you swipe to the right, you can adjust this how you want. I have it set to weather. And then there's my apps here. If you have the middle guy, you can go around. And then, of course, you can just circle in and out like that. This will be my sleep. I wear it every night. And it tracks my sleep. Generally, I wear it at night, and I will just charge it while I'm in the shower. That usually gets enough charge that lasts. And I generally don't run out of battery. If you want to add an alarm, that'll work. So you can set for the time. I set the alarm for my phone, but it will go off on the watch, and I like that. Well, actually, I do set the watch as well. So the way this will work is it will just vibrate on your wrist. I think you can make a noise too, but for me, I usually set this about 10 minutes before my actual alarm. So that way it'll start vibrating and kind of wake me up a little bit, and it's a little more peaceful than have a real loud blaring phone go off on you, right? Calendar, you can see your calendar on there, but I don't really use that. I use the calendar on my phone. This is their calorie exercise thing. I don't use that one either. And then it can measure your heartbeat or whatever, heart rate. I don't pay much into that, and it tracks my steps. And then you can add other widgets if you like. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do. But really, I don't really use it for all that. Alright, so let's look at my wearable app. It does get pretty frequent updates now. Still getting out the LTE version, so it'll show the mobile data, which is fun. So let's go through how I have it set up. So notifications I have on, of course, and I have it on for all new apps. And then I do click on the notification here, and then go to, that's not it, see all apps. And I change this from most recent to all, and then make sure all apps are checked. Now, of course, you can uncheck one if you don't want it, but for me, I pretty much want to see all my notifications. And then you can have it, I don't have it showing when I'm having my phone open, because obviously if my phone's open and a notification comes in, I should see it. Apps, you can just move them around. You can change it from a rotary view to this list view, but I kind of like the rotary view. And here you can see if you had more stuff you wanted to do, or if you wanted to get rid of one. Like there used to be, like I don't use this one, right? So I'm gonna uninstall the email app. I used to use the Samsung email app a lot, but you can't make it remember pictures, which I don't like, and you can't, it would get out of sync with my work calendar, or my work email, which is obviously important. Here's your widgets if you wanted to mess with those, but I don't really have a problem with any of these, so they're fine. I do move the app shortcuts around. Those I'll edit. I'll show you that in a second. Actually, let me show it now. Makes more sense. So I do use these. The weather, I don't really care about it. The settings I do, the alarm I use. And then these two I use a lot. The timer, or the stopwatch. So, if you just want to see how long something's going, I think you know how a stopwatch works. But I find that beneficial to have on my arm as opposed to having to pull the phone out. And what I use all the time, and like I would have a hard time going away from a smartwatch now because I'm used to this. I mean, a regular watch can do it, I guess, but it's so much easier with this one. I'll set this timer. So it has, the quick check for 1, 5, or 10, or you can do a custom. But and then you can, of course, change it for hours or minutes or days or whatever. And I do that all the time. If it's cooking or if it's need to, like, check on the dog, like, we have a puppy, so I'll set it for, well, she's almost a year old, but so now I'll set it for like every 2 hours to make sure she's been out or something in that capacity, right? So, but you just hit start, and it will count down for you. So you can see it was counting down, and then I don't have to be on the screen. Like I can go back to the home screen and go about doing my stuff. Like if I'm not paying attention, that's the whole point of the timer, right? Is that I can just if I'm cooking or whatnot, and I do whatever, and it's running. You can see it, the little icon there in the bottom running, and then once it goes off, it'll start buzzing. And if that was on your wrist, you're gonna take notice of that generally. There you go. See, I don't know if you can hear the buzzing, but it's buzzing constantly. And then I'm gonna notice the X is vibrating on my wrist, and you can just swipe it away with the X. So that's one I use all the time. Sound on vibration, I leave it on vibrate. I never use the sound version. I always keep the vibration strong because I won't notice it very much in the light. Sometimes I do use the long notification, but for this one I'm using the leather watch band. When I used to use a metal watch band on my other Samsung watch, I would have to crank it up because it would be less noticeable because obviously the heavier band takes away from the vibration of the watch itself. So I don't even use the ringtones or the notification sounds. I'm all on vibration. Display brightness. I use auto brightness essentially, and the screen timeout after 15 seconds is fine. I usually leave it on all the time. I don't know what background style is. Oh, I can see. Yeah, I'm fine with just being black. Advanced, I do this all the time. The music one, and that's pretty stellar. The touch bezel lets you just spin around there's no ring. Like the old ones used to have like a rotating bezel on there, and this one does not, so you can just use your finger and it makes like a software feeling, or like a haptic feedback essentially. Oh yeah, that's another thing. When you swipe down, you have your options here to change things around. I don't really use it all that much. I'll turn the watch face off if I'm worried about battery, and then I do use the goodnight one, so that makes the screen go. So it makes it, dim. And so, like, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I can still see the time, but it's not like a blaring bright screen. And I think it also dims, you can see it in here. I think you mute notifications, but you know, pause all these things, but you still get your alarms. So you can see when I turn it off, it automatically turns it off here. So it's pretty good syncing between the two, of course. And you can edit that, of course. So just about anything you can edit. So you can edit the quick panel and change those things around. But again, I don't really use these features that much, so that's pretty much how you know what flashlight does. What will flashlight do? I didn't know that was an option. Oh, I say it just brightens the screen up. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh yeah, here's a great feature. So let's go. Let's pretend I lost my phone, and I still have this on my arm. I could just hit this guy, and it will find my phone. As long as you're within the door is loud. So as long as you were in Bluetooth range, it would help you, find your phone. Although this one does have Wi-Fi and LTE, so I wonder if it would still work anyhow, but it may not. And on here, there should be a Find My Watch somewhere, I think. Yeah, Find My Watch. There we go. So again, say you were to lose your watch, you could do this and find it. See, that's pretty good. Personally, again, my watch is pretty much on my arm all the time, so I have used the phone one before, not with this current phone, but other phones, of course. And it's pretty good. Add content to your watch, music or images. I don't do that, so I don't need that at all. Send SOS, so if you were worried about like getting kidnapped or some shit, I guess you could hit this button 3 times. That would send a SOS message to your contact. I mean, you don't have to be an SOS. I guess I could be like, hi, hit 3 times, and it sends like a hi notification to my wife or something. I mean, I think it's just the feature it does, but I mean, it's cool to have that, but I would never think I would actually use this. I don't think I've ever turned it on. Oh, okay, I was wrong. Alright, so if you hit that button, it will send your emergency contacts your location. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So again, I mean, I wouldn't use that, but I'm sure it's helpful to someone. I mean, it's probably a good thing to have in theory, but mobile plans, that's for my mobile phone number. So I have a LTE feeder, so I figured my thought process is, that's my SOS essentially, right? If I lose my phone, I would still have this on me, so I could still make a phone call. Like, if I was somewhere stranded or some shit, I could make a call from my watch or text someone from my watch because it has LTE if I lost my phone or something of that nature. It costs about $60 a year. I've never once made a phone call on here, but that's kind of my insurance policy essentially. Of course, your backups in here, you want to do that as well, of course. You can sync your settings. You can check for a watch software update. The app updates pretty quickly. The watch, of course, won't update unless it's a major version for the most part. You can change your watch faces here. Like, I generally prefer this one, but if I wanted to go to this one, it just changes already. And you can see how quickly it changes. But I generally prefer this one here. But this is really what I need on a watch, right? I just need to know the time, the day, and the date, and the temperature, or the weather, essentially. You can go to the App Store, you go to hit Discover and go to the store, but I don't want to do that one. And then with the, that's what I'm talking about that. You go to Apps and Weather. I have it set to refresh every hour. You can make it slower if you want. That's how I like to have it do it. All right, outside of that, like let's say I'm playing some music. So I'm going to mute that because obviously I don't want to get YouTube tapping it. But so like say this is in my pocket and I have headphones on. I can just double tap this button. It takes me right here, and I can still pause it. And then I can hit play again, and it'll start playing. Even if the screen's off, it will still do that. Like I said, that's when I use it. When it's not a pandemic and I'm traveling in an airport, I have headphones on pretty much the entire time. And then I'm walking through the airport, and I need to pause it or something, or I want to change the track. You can do that too, like if you want to change the track. Yeah, you can see that. And then it just changes the song for you, right? So that's pretty good. It doesn't have to be Spotify. It can do it with. So now when I double click it, it shows Sirius Howard Stern, right? So that's pretty good. All right, and then if you use the same phone calls will still work fine, but if you use the Samsung Messages app, you can still access all your texting on here. I don't. I use the Google Messages app. I really like Samsung features. I used to prefer the Samsung Messages app, but I like the web integration of the Google Messages one. So because of that, I can still get a notification on here and I can reply to it. Like, let me have my son text me. All right, so I have my phone. I'm gonna get it set to get a text from him, and it should show on my watch. So I got the notification. I can just see what I just told him to text me again, so he's making a joke and saying it again. So you can read more, and you can see the message, and then you have these other options. Like, I can go ahead and respond to him with one of these built-in things. If I want to hit the microphone and talk to him, I could. I could just hit the little this little face thing, right? Or if you like, I said, if you wanted to have a nightmare and like draw stuff here, you could, but I'm not doing that. I mean, I'd never. Or you could write text or something like that, but I've never done that. And then you can show it on your phone. You can block it, clear it, what have you, right? So you'll get the notification and you can reply to it, kind of the same way with Gmail. But like I said, if you use the built-in Samsung Messages app, there's a Samsung Messages app on here. See, that same Messages app's on here. That's on here. So then you could actually interact with all your messages through there. But I don't find that I miss that too much. I like getting the notification, and I like being able to hit the button on here. I like being able to respond to it from my watch if need be, like with a yes or no, just seeing what it is. Like, it's good to know, to see the notification real quick and see if I need to interact with it or not. And with other emails, it just varies. Like with Gmail, I can archive it right from the watch. I think with Outlook, you can delete it right from the watch. It just, the notifications vary from every app. Every app has some kind of function that pops up. Sometimes you can dismiss it, sometimes you can show it. Like, if I get a task from like Google Tasks, I'm pretty sure I can complete it from the watch. Same thing with Samsung's reminder. I can complete those from the watch. Like if I had a reminder to take down my trash and it pops up, I can hit complete on the watch. Never having to open the app here. For me, the smartwatch life is the way to go. I've had them for several years now, and I don't see me going back to not having one. I'll swipe past it. Like, this is my Ring camera, right? So this is telling me there's motion in my backyard. I can't do anything other than snooze it, but at least I know there's something going on in my backyard. That's the boy putting the dog out. But all right, so that's all I got, really. Thanks for checking me out. If you have any questions about the watch or the phone, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back with you. And then check out the channel, subscribe if you can. I have a lot more videos on the Note coming up, and just technology in general. All right, thanks for checking me out.